Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia to Movies. So today we're doing something slightly different. Um, I normally don't review TV movies on this channel. I don't know if I ever have on this channel. I've reviewed them, obviously, for my blog on occasion. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes I do. And I wouldn't mind doing that more often. They're still films. I mean, even if they're not theatrically released. But today we're talking about Bad Ronald, which is a film that came out in or was shown on TV back in 1974 and distributed by Warner Brothers. And this is a film that I was told I should check out again, which I did. And I watched it, and I gotta say, it has some effective moments. I think it's a little too short, and some scenes happen a little prematurely for my taste, but overall, a slightly effective little movie. So we have this character named Ronald Wilby, played by Scott Jacoby, who seems to have retired from acting in 1991, according to what I've read. Um, he is a high school youth, and he has an interest in fantasy and creating fantasy stories. But his mother is the one that, played by Kim Hunter, who wants him to go to medical school, and hopefully he can become a doctor and cure the illness that she has, which I don't think is even mentioned what the illness is, but something to do with her stomach or her chest or whatever. So um, now he lives with her in a house, and it's just the two of them. She is divorced, and one day Ronald goes out, and the mother, who's very overprotective, says, "Where are you going?" He says, "Oh, I'm going to this girl's house." And he says, "Oh, no, 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 no." I mean, she obviously doesn't want him. She doesn't want anything to curtail or deviate him from his medical school future. So he goes to this girl's house, and named Laurie Matthews, played by an actress named Shelley Spurlock. I wouldn't know. Anyhow, so he's rejected outright. She's having like a little pool party with a couple of her friends, and he comes right in there and says, "Hey, I thought maybe we'd go to movies or something." And she rejects him outright. They all kind of laugh at him. And so he leaves, and as he's walking, he knocks over this young girl named Carol, who's, I guess, Laurie's younger sister. And she's riding her bike, and he runs into her, knocks her down, says, "I'm really sorry, can I help you up?" And she starts berating him, like, "You got to watch where you're going. You are this, you are that." And he takes offense and says, "Take it back, take it back." And he throws her on the ground, and she hits her head on one of those cinder, cement blocks. And she dies. So then Ronald could have easily done the most obvious thing, which is, go to a neighbor's house and call the police. And it was an accident. Never mind the fact that he threw her in the ground, because he wasn't intending to kill her. But no, he buries her in some shallow grave. Then he goes home, he tells his mother, and she is understandably shocked, but she still doesn't want him to lose his medical school future. So she basically says, "Look, why don't we do this? You need to hide out here until we figure out a plan, whatever that plan may be, because I can't imagine what it would be when the police are already looking for him." So they build there's a bathroom, a second bathroom in the house, and it is all sealed off by him because the mother got him these tools as a gift, and he's able to create a partition, a fake partition where the bathroom is, and through this pantry closet or some other type of closet, there's a section where he can fit through and close it off, and he'll live in this bathroom basically, which has been made into some sort of bedroom. And so eventually something happens, and the mother decides she's going to leave for a trip or something, and she'll be back. She never comes back. Apparently, she died. And then the house is bought, and a new family moves in. And the father is of this, the patriarch of the family is played by Dabney Coleman. It's always nice to see him in anything. And so there you go. He lives with Dabney Coleman is married. So there's a wife, and then there are 3 daughters. Meanwhile, Ronald is living inside this partition, and we don't know the amount of time in which he is staying there, because it must be an awful long time, because they have taken all the furniture out, and then he knows there's no furniture except for, I think, the fridge, which doesn't have very much food. So you wonder how this kid is surviving, because this has to be the process of at least a couple to a few months, I would imagine. So that's never really explained. You could call it almost a plot hole, but we won't do that for a TV movie that runs 74 minutes. We'll let that go. But then he creates a hole through the partition and is able to see the family having dinner and this and that and the other. And occasionally he sneaks through that closet and takes food from the fridge. And, well, there you go. That's the movie. So eventually he's found out, and so on and so forth. You kind of, can figure that out. The movie is based on a book by an author named Jack Vance, and also called Bad Ronald. And apparently, from what I've read, I haven't read this book, although I guess I would sort of be curious to read the book now, is a lot more violent, a little more graphic. And aside from the mother, and we suspect that whatever illness she had took her life. There are 2 other deaths in the movie. There is, I believe her name was Mrs. Schumacher, who lives right next door, very nosy. And she keeps looking, it's kind of constant, repetition of scenes where she keeps looking through the windows to see if she can catch Ronald. She wonders what's happened to Ronald. And of course, after this new family has moved in and so on and so forth, she sees Ronald and she gets a heart attack and dies. But he didn't do anything. But of course, then he decides to bury her body in the basement. It's that kind of movie. I remember seeing this movie a long time ago, and I think what the visual that got to me was this separate room. Something about it was got to me, and I think it was this movie. Apparently, there's another movie that let me see if I can find it here. I believe it's called Hider in the House, which stars Gary Busey, which was made in 1989. Seems to be a somewhat similar idea. Somebody who's been released from psychiatric confinement, and he sneaks into a hidey hole in the attic and lives there. I have a feeling I might have seen this movie, but I'm not sure. So it would be interesting to compare the 2. But nonetheless, Mimi Rogers is in that. I don't know if that was a theatrical release, Hider in the House. I'm trying to figure that out here. I'm going to guess that this was a TV movie. But nonetheless, there you go. Bad Ronald. It's developed sort of a cult reputation, and it's not a bad film. It just seems that there are things that happen a little too quickly, that are resolved a little too neatly at times. You would think that living in a house where you're dragging a body outside and then taking it into a basement, there would be other neighbors that would notice this type of thing, particularly if this kid, the cops have been there twice, so you would think that somebody would notice, that, especially in the daytime. But, the idea of it is plausible. Somebody could do that, and I've obviously seen stories about such things actually happening. So the credibility is sort of there, but you still wonder how long he's been in that house. It's never made very clear up until the family moves in. So how is he surviving without food? How much food does he have? He doesn't have much. And, and then he has that interest in art, and he seems to be, pretty good, very creative. He builds, or rather, he draws these big um, drawings on fairly big ones. And anyway, so let me your thoughts if you've seen this movie, Bad Ronald, TV movie from 1974. Let me your thoughts. Tell me what you think, and if you've seen this other film with Gary Busey. And I guess that's all I got to say about that. Fair movie, nothing great. Could have been 100% better in many respects. This is a story that you could really build upon and add a lot of layers, particularly psychologically speaking. The kid actually barely ever says anything, which is really interesting. He never says a word. And the whole, I think he only has a few lines of dialogue in the movie compared to everyone else, especially the family. So it could have developed psychologically his character a little bit more, but maybe the book does. So have you read the book? What do you think of this movie? Have you seen it? Let me your thoughts. Please subscribe to my channel if you like what you hear. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.